Everybody has been hyping ISHIZU TEARLAMENTS ever since we got the ISHIZU cards announced, and for a very good reason. These cards are absolutely nasty. They drastically improve the consistency of the deck, even though the ceiling level is quite the same. It didn't really change that much. You're pretty much still ending on the exact same boards, but this time you also have way more ways of controlling the graveyard, and you can play Herald of Orange Light to even negate monster effects, even when you control monsters, which would be something that Gamma could not do. So it's pretty much one of the best hand traps in the entire game if you can get to play a lot of fairies, especially those that actually trigger when they're sent to the grave. So before the ISHIZU cards, we only had Hoffinus to kind of use in order to summon itself on the opponent's turn and trigger a bunch of effects, but now we have way more ways of doing that, which means that the deck is even nastier than ever before, and your turn is officially now our turn. So today, I'll show you guys 4 combos on how to utilize the ISHIZU TEARLAMENTS deck, and of course, the deck profile will be coming up tomorrow. Jesus, I completely messed that one up. So before this video starts, make sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on Twitch and Instagram. If this video can get to 1,000 likes, I will be making a live stream on this deck, and now let's get right into it. Alright, so my opening hand on this one is very simple. It's just Keldo with the Mudora as well as Diviner of the Herald. Look at what you can do. So Keldo is going to be pitching the Mudora, search for the Agido, and then normal summon Diviner, use the effect, send the Kelbeck, and then both players will mill 5 cards. Even if your opponent mills a Tearlament monster or 2 or 3 monsters, it doesn't matter at all because you have the Mudora that you pitched off of the Keldo in order to shuffle back cards from the grave. So in a mirror match, the Tearlaments monsters that are triggered when you send Agido and Kelbeck don't really matter too much because you can always shuffle them back. The only thing that will really kind of suck to mill for your, well, kind of suck for you to mill if your opponent mills them would be like Scream and Sulik because they search on activation. Anyways, you're going to be shuffling back whatever is relevant, and you're going to be special summoning the Agido and revive back the Kelbeck, which is really nasty. Literally like 2 seconds in my combo, and now we have 4 monsters on the field, and I can summon the Kitkalos, which is absolutely freaking ridiculous, and also search a monster. Like, are you kidding me, man? So, as you can clearly see, we have 3 level 4 monsters and a level 6 tuner on the field, which means that we can go into Baron and Abyss Dweller. Like, again, literally 2 seconds in. This is nuts. And then use the effective Kikalos, target itself, summon the Reno Heart, Chilling 1, Chilling 2. I could get lucky or I could get unlucky. It doesn't matter that much. But let's just say I get lucky and I do mill 1 Tearlaments monster. I will be able to use that effect in order to fuse for 1, and then fuse with the other name off of the Reno Heart. So in case I was able to also mill like a Reno Heart as well as another tier name, I can fuse for the Kaleido Heart, and then I can make the Garura using whatever else monster, and I'll make the Dark, which allows me to draw 1 card, and I don't have the field spell, so how would I be popping the Kaleido Heart to send the Scream and Surge a Trap? It's super easy, because Baron can do it, so I will be destroying my own Kaleido Heart, revive it back again, send the Scream, and search for either the Counter Trap or the Continuous Trap. Dark effect, revive back any dark monster, so that's the reason why I didn't want to shuffle it back, because I actually want my opponent to have a dark monster in the grave. By the way, fun fact, if your opponent plays the Bisted monsters like Magnamut, and you can go dark, revive their Magnamut, you can search your own Druid Worm. So in other words, even if you're only playing 1 copy of Druid Worm, it's not like a random one-of, because you can still search it with their card. Anyways, the Elf will not necessarily have to revive back now, because you can revive back the Mirror on your opponent's turn, and then you have Dweller, you have Baron, Kaleido Heart, Elf, freaking the Trap, and also a draw 1 from Garura, Kelbeck being a very good interruption. By the way, it's a hand trap that also bounces a monster under Dweller. I really don't see how your opponent is doing much, to be honest. Like, the card is just so oppressive. So now I have like so many ways of interrupting my opponent. I have an Omni Negate, a Veiler, basically, a Monster Reborn, and the Monster Reborn for Diviner is actually really nasty because on the summon, I can send either Elder Entity Entis or any ISHIZU monster from my deck to the grave, which is also very nasty because now I can control the graveyard. This Agido will not really be able to revive back anything because, you know, nothing in your grave, and I'm always controlling the grave. Sulik, send the Kaleido Heart, and then, you know, get rid of one of your cards, shuffle back, negate, freaking search with the Sulik. Oh my god, just all of that super simple off of just 3 cards. Are you kidding me? But yeah, that's it for combo number 1. Let's get right into combo number 2 now. Alrighty, so for combo number 2, as you can see, my hand is pretty interesting. I have double Mudora, Reno Heart, Sulik, and Exchange of the Spirit. Now, one thing about this hand is that Exchange of the Spirit is not necessarily a card that you have to play. It's really just a card that you could play if you want to, but it can be a brick just like Gravekeeper's Trap. And Gravekeeper's Trap is only really broken if you have Exchange of the Spirit in the grave. But also one cool thing about Exchange of the Spirit is that if you have it in the grave, the Agido and Kelbeck become way better when you send them to the grave, because you can either mill an extra 5 cards with Agido or reset back one of the trap cards from the grave to the spell and trap zone face down with the effect of Kelbeck, and the Mudora and Keldo will actually be able to shuffle back up to 5 cards instead of only being able to shuffle back up to 3 cards. Anyways, just a friendly reminder again that you're not forced to play these cards. So this hand is not necessarily the best, and I'm going up against a pretty explosive hand. So Smashers, Red, Druidware, Magnamut, and Starter. How can I play this out? Don't worry about it. I can still do a bunch of things. So Mudora, pitch the Mudora, get the Gravekeeper's Trap, and then activate it by discarding the Agido, send the Reno Heart with the, send the Hafines rather with the Reno Heart. Try to use this effect, it's gonna get hit by the Magnamut, and then I can kind of dodge it by shuffling back my own Hafines with the Mudora. But the Druid Worm is going to be eating it, so yeah, I was kind of went neg-1 in a way, because my opponent still has, you know, the Magnamut in the hand, so it's not like he had to discard it as a cost, as a hand trap, so it's not like a call by the grave, but still, at least my opponent will not be getting the end-phase search and like another body. And now I can still make Baguska, set to the Soling, and pass turn there. So against Splight, this actually achieves so much pressure, it's ridiculous, because now I have the Gravekeeper's Trap, which makes it so pretty much everything in the graveyard is turned off, and Baguska makes it so that everything on the field is turned off. So that's actually a soft lock in a way. Really nasty combo that can make you win so many games. Now, the only thing that could scare me is the Smashers here, but my opponent will have to neg a bit in order to utilize it. So, you know, if I can not die to it and keep one of the either Baguska or Gravekeeper's Trap, I should be fine. And of course, by using the effect of Gravekeeper's Trap by discarding the Agido, I can mill 10 cards, trigger a bunch of effects, summon so many monsters. So again, mill an extra 5 cards with the Agido because I have Exchange of the Spirit in the grave. And then, as you can see, I'm going to be summoning the Kaleido Heart and use the effect of Kalos to try to make the Lulu Karos, and it's going to work out. I'm not going to be getting my search, but I was able to trigger freaking 3-tier effects in the grave. This is absolutely ridiculous. I have double Salik with Kaleido Heart, Lulu Karos, and 2 hand traps in my hand. So good luck playing either, even with just like 2 cards or 5 cards or whatever, it's still going to be very hard. And my opening hand was a brick. I wasn't even able to do that much on my own turn. So it's crazy how many plays you can do on your opponent's turn. All right, combo number 3. I'm actually going second. This time I'm against Runic Splight, so very good hand again. This is the Destruction of the Monster. This is a MST, and then this is the Runic Slumber, of course, protects the monster. And Freezing Curses and the Imperm, and finally Splight Blue. My hand is also very nice. I don't have a single TEARLAMENTS monster, but it's still really cool. So Agido, Kelbeck, Double Mudora, and Herald of Orange Light. So my opponent goes summon the Hugin from the extra deck, and then he goes effect, I go negate, and then the Slumber protects it. So it doesn't die, but I still negate it, and I mail 5 cards, which is actually really nasty. And the Kelbeck can bounce it back to the hand. So there is a synergy with your Agido or Kelbeck being pitched off of Herald, which is ridiculous. Can actually be proactive depending on the situation. And now I can make a Lulu Karos on my opponent's turn. That allows me to negate another runic spell to summon a monster. So I could have done that, or I can go Dragos Tapelia in order to negate and, negate the, whatever Hugin, so that my opponent cannot go Splight Blue summon. Well, special summon, he has to go normal summon, and then make the Elf to try to revive back. But if I just have Mudora or Kaldo in the grave, the Elf is basically 100% useless. So my opponent only has an Elf and literally nothing else. And this deck is just so ridiculously, insanely consistent and powerful that I always really have like a follow-up, because even without like a Reno Heart, for example, you can just like discard your Kelbeck or Agido, mill a bunch of cards, and then that will inevitably get you some tier names. So even just 1 tier name should be enough. Well, rather 1 tier name fusing, so could be like double Meru in this instance. And I'm just going to be triggering so many effects, so many searches, oh my god. So yeah, search a card with the Kalos and with the Sulik. And now shuffle back whatever with Kaleido Heart. Even make a Dweller for the Disrespect. I didn't have to do that. Chilling 1, Chilling 2 can even make like the Lulu Karos. I have 7 cards in my deck. Like, is this fair and healthy? I don't know, but I'm definitely not complaining if I'm the one inflicting that to my opponent. So yeah, absolutely freaking crazy. I can even get the Gravekeeper's Trap, make like a Baguska and attack for 0 reason at all, and absolutely demolish my opponent. Alright, so for combo number 4, this is going to be an exact mirror match. But before we proceed into it, friendly reminder, of course, to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Again, let's try to get this video to 1,000 likes. I will be making a beautiful live stream on this deck so we can all learn and master this deck together. And now let's get right into it. So very good hand as well. But every hand is like really good. So Agido, Keldo, Mudora, Hafines, and the field spell. So I'm gonna go Keldo, discard the Agido, and then search another Keldo. Not even use the effective mail because I don't want to help my opponent in case like I'm on a mirror match or something. So now I'm going to be getting the Gravekeeper's Trap with the effective Mudora. Go for the field spell and then search the Sharon, make the Abyss Dweller. And now go Sharon effect, so summon, discard, and then use a bunch of effects. I don't care about using the effect of a Guido now because I can simply chain Dweller and my opponent will not be getting any free resources. That is chaining 5 on my own turn. That's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm going to be searching for the Sulik using the Scream, and then search the Meru, I believe, off of the Sulik. Going to be fusing for the Kid Kalos. Going to be mailing even more cards. Search the Scream off of the Kid Kalos. Normal summon Meru, chilling 1, chilling 2. Mail 6 cards. Like, I'm already decking out. This is ridiculous. 12 cards left in my deck on turn 1. Is this normal? Oh my god. I mailed the Exchange of the Spirit, so my opponent is basically under a permanent Dweller. Even if I get hit by Super Poly, it literally doesn't matter at all. And then fuse using whatever, another tier, make the Garura, link off, draw 1 card, and then revive back the Diviner of the Heralds. Use its effect to send an ISHIZU monster. So now it's level 6, and now I can make Baron. And what the heck is this freaking end board, man? All of that while playing against the potential threat of, I don't know, my opponent mailing a tier or my opponent going a Venus or something, because I went Dweller very, very, very early. So that's just absolutely freaking ridiculous. And I'm shuffling back my resources so I don't deck out. So even when I had 7 cards in my deck, you didn't have to be afraid of anything because I'm always going to be getting everything back. This is just like the beauty of the ISHIZU cards. It's really just insane. And by the way, on your opponent's draw phase, if the Gravekeeper's Trap is already on the field, you can declare any card name, and if you get it right, your opponent has to get rid of whatever card he drew. So that could be nice if you can find a way to like stack a card on the top of your opponent's deck. Maybe something like, I don't know, Back to Square One, Phoenix Wing and Blast. Even though those cards are very just a little gimmicky. I guess Time Thief for Doer, detaching like a trap card to Phoenix Wing and Blast a card in your opponent's top deck and then calling it could be interesting because that's pretty much a neg 1. And again, with Exchange of the Spirit being in the grave, that is a really, really nice combo. So yeah, this is quite literally an unbreakable board. I really don't understand how someone can lose if you have like all of this and your opponent was not able to get a single effect off. Absolutely unfair. But that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.